We got the chat going. All right. We are live right now. This is Todd Kolb, PGA Director and Professional for US Golf TV and VLS Golf. It is tonight we're talking about clubhead speed. So as you know, this is your first time here or you've been here many times, we're going to take about 60 to 90 seconds. We're going to let everybody start getting logged in a little bit. We got a bunch of people jumping on as we just get to live. Now, you know this. One of our favorite things to do is to find out where people are from. Where are they jumping on from tonight? And I've got my main man, Nick, behind the camera. Nick, give him the thumbs up. All right, Nick gives us a thumbs up. He's running the chat this evening. So start putting it in the chat. First of all, I need to know, can you hear us? Can you see us? Because this is a live session. And I don't know. So if anybody's out there and you're willing to just give us a thumbs up, please do that so that we know the audio is good. All right, there we go. Good. Mark's jumping on. Mark's from North Carolina. Mark, welcome. We got people jumping on like crazy right now. For those of you just getting here, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us and the audio looks good. Thank you, gentlemen. Right there, Willard. You guys fantastic. Let us know where you're from. Tonight we're talking about clubhead speed. My goal tonight is to give you 20 yards. Okay, is to give you 20 yards. All right. We just had a session where we were talking to Sean, and the things that we gave him, I know are going to give him 20 yards. All right. We got people. Look at this. Hey, we got our Australian group is back. We love our fans from Australia. Fantastic. South Carolina, Oklahoma, Canada is represented here this evening. Man, we're making a trip to Australia, Nick. Thumbs up on that, Nick. Yes, we are making a trip to Australia. All right. Just about 30 more seconds. Then we're going to get rolling. Yeah, I know, Mark. 20 yards is big. We're going big tonight, Mark. We're going big. We've got some great information. A lot of the stuff that we're pulling out here tonight is from our book, The Bad Lie. Okay, some of you have read it. You've seen it. I hope you like it. We got our second book coming out. It's specifically to the short game. Specific to the short game. And it is jam-packed full of information. I'd say it's probably double what we have in the Bad Lie. Double we have in the Bad Lie. All right, so let me just set the table here again, and then we're going to get rolling. We got Quebec dropping in, South Carolina again, Ohio, California, Kentucky, Puerto Vallarta. There, hey, there. Like, listen, we could make a trip down there. All right, here we go. Todd Kolb, PGA instructor, been doing this for 30 years. I get my main man, Nick, behind the camera. Nick, give him the thumbs up. We are US Golf TV. We are vertical line swing. Tonight, I'm going to give you 20 yards to your drives. So here's where we're going, folks. Here's where we're going this evening. The first thing we're going to talk about is misconceptions. Misconceptions on how we create more clubhead speed or things that people might tell you that you're doing wrong, all right? And we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. Why? Because part of the reason you come here, I hope anyhow you come here, is because you want to keep this game simple. We pride ourselves on keeping the game simple. Not easy, but simple. Far too often we overcomplicate the game. So we're going to talk about that. Number two is I'm going to review with you what are the actual power sources that are available to us to create more clubhead speed. There are 3 of them. Okay? A lot of you probably know what they are already, but we're going to talk about them. And then here's the best part. Here's the best part. I'm going to give you a drill, couple drills or one drill for every one of those 3 power sources, so you have something tangible that you can take with you tomorrow or maybe this afternoon. I'm not sure what time it is in Australia. What time is it in Australia? Put it in the chat if you would. I got no idea. But you can take it with you the next time you go to the golf course. You have something that you can actually really work with. And then I'm going to wrap things up with a suggestion that I just gave Sean, who is in our coaching program, all right, he asked a question about in the transition, what happens to the head and how do you create more clubhead speed in the transition? So, all right, let's get rolling. So the first misconception, all right, that a lot of you are hearing, and this is the time to start getting a pencil out and a pen and writing it down, is that your backswing is too quick. Okay? Your backswing is too quick. Like you're quick, you're jerky, your tempo is bad. All right? Now, here's the thing. If we want to get this clubhead going faster, and tonight I'm just going to use a wedge, okay, just to demonstrate. But if we want to get this clubhead going as quick as we can at the moment of impact, I want to get this thing moving fast early. So I don't think I've ever told somebody that their backswing is too quick or too jerky. I don't think I've ever told somebody that. I have told people that their backswing is too short or that they're not turning enough, okay? But I've never told somebody that their backswing is too quick. If the goal is to get this club head moving as quick as possible, we want to get it moving as quick as possible early in the backswing. And we're going to give you a couple drills tonight and understand how to do that, all right? Making sense? Everybody's got some thumbs up. All right, we got more people from Canada, Ohio. Fantastic. Oh, it's in the morning in Australia, 11:04. All right, for those of you just getting here, make sure you tell us where you're from because we like looking at that. All right, so that's the first misconception. The second misconception, and this is probably the most common one we get, is that they're afraid that they're swaying off the golf ball. All right, because we're going to talk about these three power sources in just a second, but that they're swaying off the golf ball. So what is a sway? All right, this is important because one of the ways we can create club head speed that we're going to talk about is movement of weight from lead foot to trail foot and so forth. But a sway is this. A sway is not moving your weight from your lead foot to your trail foot. A sway is when you move your weight from your lead foot to the outside of your trail foot. Everybody see that? See how my trail foot goes to the outside, all right? When the weight goes to the outside of that foot, that's a sway because of the foot position. This is not a sway. That's a pivot. All right, so the second misconception is that people say you're swaying off the golf ball because you're trying to create some momentum. That's not the case. The third one, and then we'll get into these power sources, these club head speed sources. We can get you 20 yards, hopefully. All right, big goal tonight. And that is that your swing is too long. Oh, you're swinging too long. All right, I don't ever tell anybody that either. Matter of fact, most of your golf swings, if anything, are too short. Okay, are too short. All right, so here's the golden nugget for you, and then we're going to move on to the second part of the topic. Here's the golden nugget. If you only remember one thing from this first part of the session, it is this. Write this down. In order to create more club head speed, you need time and you need length. You need time and you need length. What I mean by that is when I swing this golf club, if I want to get this club head going as fast as possible, the longer that swing is, the higher that club head is, the further that club head travels away from the golf ball. Let me get a golf ball, put it down there. I kicked it out of the way because I didn't want to trip on it. Right there. I'll back up a little bit for my main man. Okay. The longer that club head travels and the higher it travels, the length, that gives me more time to increase my club head speed. If the club head only travels a short distance, see, that's a short distance, right? That's not very far. Now I have very limited time to get the club head traveling quickly. So if you want to hit the golf ball longer, you want to create more club head speed, you need more length of your swing because it will provide you more time to increase that club head speed. All right? Now, all right, so here we go. Let's talk about it. Then how can we create more club head speed? And then let's talk about the drills. All right, so there are three different power sources. All right, and Nick is running the chat. If you got questions right now and you're thinking of them, put them in the chat right now. Just start throwing them in there. Nick's going to write them down. We're going to talk about all of them this evening. We're going to get to as many of those as we can. This is jam-packed. We've got a ton of information to get to. All right, three power sources. Now, this is in the book, okay? The actual ones are in the book, okay? I think it's chapter 3 of the book. We talk about 3 of the different power sources. The first one is what we call rotation. This is rotation. This is rotating. Okay? Turn, return. Who's a golfer who's got great rotation in their golf swing? Zach Johnson comes to mind. All right, if you know of another golfer who's got great rotation, put it in the chat. But Zach Johnson has great rotation. He won Masters. I mean, that's pretty good, I say, right? All right, but he's got great rotation. Now, how do we know that rotation creates club head speed? Well, you could do this drill on your own. Take a club, put a ball in a tee, put your feet together, all right, and just try to hit the golf ball. And what's going to happen is you're going to naturally start to turn and rotate a little bit. Okay? You would never sway or go up or down because your feet are together. So that would be a drill that I would do to teach people the rotation. All right? I'd put feet together. I'd just put the ball on a tee. Boom. And instinctively what would happen is you would naturally start rotating and rotating, and you would learn, your body would understand that when it rotates, it can create club head speed. Okay? Making sense? Give me the thumbs up if that's making sense out there. All right. Here's another drill you can do this. You can do this right now. When you're watching this, stand up. Nobody can see you. Just go ahead and stand up in your living room or wherever you're at. Take a golf club or something and kind of put it on the ground just for support, kind of like a cane or just for support, and just take your golf setup. And what I want you to do is just swing your arm back and just go ahead and make a step. Everybody see that? Boom. Take your trail foot and just step. Right there. Okay? I'm exaggerating that rotation. Okay, now you can do the front side too. Now I got my lead hand and I'm just rotating and opening up. Okay, pretty simple, right? So the first way to create more club head speed is rotation. Now, in order to rotate, you got to have some flexibility. So getting in the gym, things like that, that's why we see rotation a lot in younger golfers, because they're very flexible. Okay, they're very flexible, all right? Now, the second one is what we call vertical, and that's up and down. That also can help us create club head speed. So if I was to stand here, and I'm not even going to use a club for this one, but I just stood here, put my feet together, and I swing my arms back, and as I swing my arms through, if I jump up on my toes, my arms would accelerate. As I push up, my arms will accelerate. Now, I got a golfer that comes to mind who does that. Justin Thomas, Lexi Thompson, world-class players. If you watch them swing the golf club, you will see that they get up on their toes at impact. They're pushing the ground. They're using the ground to extend up and create club head speed. And I don't know if there's anybody else out there that you might know, okay, a professional golfer who uses a lot of that. Go ahead and throw that right there in the chat, okay, because it's kind of fun to be seeing what other golfers, because there could be other ones that we're not thinking of. So for rotation, Zach Johnson, lateral rotation. Up and down, Justin Thomas, Lexi Thompson. The third one is lateral or side to side, okay? And for everybody here who follows a vertical line swing, all right, and or read the bad lie, and matter of fact, Nick, if they want to get some more vertical line swing and maybe text messages on when we do new vertical line swing or we go live, Nick will throw that in the chat right there. He'll put a link in there where you can sign up for, we don't send you stuff other than just, we send you a link when we go live. So you know, oh, wow, the guys are going live tonight. So you know when that is. You can sign up for our chat, or excuse me, our text messaging. But is what we call side to side. Okay, so we've all played sports. If I start with my weight on my lead foot, you know we love the 60-40. All right, we know we love the 60-40. Okay, so you start there, you move to the trail, you go back to the front. You start on the lead, you go back to the trail, you go to the front. Think of like throwing a ball, a football, a baseball, okay, things like that. Hitting a tennis ball, all those types of things, we have side to side. Okay, so let me give you a drill that you can do for that. And then we're going to start getting into some questions. All right, so if you got questions, start putting those in already, okay? All right, so here we go. So we got 20 yards. Okay, so we got some people think they're getting, Mark think he's got 5 yards already. And we're just getting started, Mark. We got another 15 coming, my friend. We got another 15 coming. All right, so here we go. So here's some drills you can do to learn the third one, the side to side or the lateral. So first one is just simply put your feet together. Okay, put your feet together, go ahead and grip the club. And as you swing your arms back, just go ahead and step away from the target. Boom. So this teaches lateral. Boom. I'm learning to move my weight from my lead foot to my trail foot. Boom, right there. Lead foot to trail foot. Okay? And then you can actually even hit golf balls like that if you want. You can just do it here. Boom, and then go ahead and hit it. Now, once you got the hang of that, okay, once you got the hang of that, you can do the front foot. So feet together, back swing, and then step towards the target. Boom, there's one, right? And now you go forward. So now we've learned to load the trail and release to the front. Load the trail, release to the front. So here's what we've learned so far. All right, there are 3 different power sources. And for those of you who are just getting here, all right, you've tuned in to US Golf TV, VLS Golf. I'm Todd Kolb, PGA teaching professional for over 30 years. I got my main man, Nick, behind the camera. Nick, give him the thumbs up. We love hearing where you're from. If you just got here, put it in the chat where you're from. We got Australia, Canada, South Carolina. We had California. We got people from all over. We love hearing where you're from, and we love answering your questions, so put those in the chat. All right, but here's what we've learned so far. We're trying to get you 20 yards tonight. 20 yards, all right? We've learned misconceptions. Misconceptions. One is that you should swing the club back long and slow. Don't make sense. Get the club moving. Get it moving, all right? Okay? Number 2 is we've learned that in order to create club head speed, I need length, because length gives me time. If I get the club higher up, I have more time to create club head speed. All right? We've learned that there's 3 power sources. There's rotation. Okay, I can hit golf balls like that. That'll teach me that. We've learned that there's vertical, up and down. Justin Thomas, Lexi Thompson. Okay, and then we've learned that there's kind of side to side. I can shift my weight from my front foot to my lead foot, back to my front foot. Okay, now let's get into a couple questions before I start talking about Sean, one of our students, and what we did from him that literally gave him 20 yards. We did this kind of sequence drill that we did with him to help him in his transition that really added some speed to his club heads. All right, so Nick, let's get into a couple questions. And for those of you who are just getting here, throw those in there right now.
Yeah, this one comes from Michael. He asks, what about the shuffler dance on his tee off?
Oh, okay, good. So what about Scotty's dance with the feet? Yeah, great question. He's kind of all over, isn't he? He's kind of dancing and moving around, all right? So he's got a lot of stuff going on. There's definitely got some vertical going on because he's kind of up and sliding. So he's got some up on his toes. He's got some sliding side to side. He's got some rotation. He's accessing every single one of them. Now, he's doing it in a little bit different way with his feet because they're moving around. But if you look at his feet, they are moving side to side because they're not staying in the same spot. They are working a little bit up and down the vertical, and he certainly has some rotation. So not something that we would generally teach, okay, but you can see all 3 of those concepts in there. Now, here's the one thing that I would add to that. I love his golf swing. Not only is he the #1 player in the world, but if you don't believe me, go ahead and look at his swing. One of the core concepts of the vertical line swing that we teach, okay, because we feel like it's the easiest swing for golfers through all stages of life, is that the lead arm works more straight back and up. Now, go look at his lead arm. It works back and it works up. Now, I don't know if you ever read The Bad Liar, the book. I'm not going to certainly take credit for that because he's got a great coach already. He had a great coach for a long time. But you'll see that same concept of that working back and up. All right, Nick, what other questions we got out there?
Yeah, this one comes from Willard Brown. It's actually a question we got from Scott in the coaching program too. The right elbow seems to fly out a bit. Is that good?
Okay, so this is a question. All right, so let's talk about that right elbow. Okay, let's talk about this right elbow. All right, does it kind of fly out? So I think this, generally speaking, the elbow should be away from the body. So I like this position better than I like this position. Good. I wouldn't say bad, but I like this better. Why? Because of what we're learning here tonight, that when we get more length, watch the club head here in the background. When my arm moves in, see how the club head comes down and is shorter. When my right elbow moves out, the club head goes further away from the golf ball. Closer to the golf ball, further away. So that gives me more length, which gives me more time. Now, does it need to be, can it be this way? You know, could it be like this? How does it look? Generally speaking, most golfers like it to be kind of, roughly pointed down, but Freddie Couples is up like that. And I would say this is a great question. Okay, this is a great question. A lot of it has to do with how much flexibility do you have in your shoulder? Okay, I don't have a lot of flexibility in my trail shoulders, my right shoulder. So for me to get my elbow, I mean, even just doing it without a golf club, like to try to get it, like that hurts. Okay, mine works a little this way. Now that I don't feel a lot of pressure or tension there. It doesn't hurt. When I do that hurts. So I would say in a nutshell, the range of motion that you have up in through here. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, but the range of motion that you have right here has a big impact on where that elbow actually can be versus where you think it should be. All right, so if you got some more questions, throw those in there. We love hearing where you're from. Nick's going to also throw that text in there. And then also, we do offer coaching at VLS Golf. He'll throw that in there as well. You know, we've got a variety of different programs. If you like the bad lie, if you like the vertical line swing, if you like our YouTube videos, but you want that personal interaction, we do have that available. He'll throw that in there. You can check that out. It's just a simple questionnaire. So, all right, what did we talk about with Sean? Sean's one of our students. How did he had this great question. He said, Todd, in the transition from backswing to forward swing, okay, if we want to get some vertical, if we want to get up, isn't the head supposed to go down a little bit? And I said, well, the short answer to that is yes, it naturally should or does. But to try to do that, consciously do that, is very difficult. Okay, I have very few students who I can say, oh, hey, in the transition, boom, drop the head or whatever. It's not going to happen. Okay, but I said, all right, Sean, here's a drill you can do that will help you with that. All right, so the drill is this. This is a little complicated, so work with me. We've covered this a little bit in some of our counter backswing sequence drills and things like that. Here's what I want you to do. Put your feet together, and the first couple times you do this, don't hit a golf ball. Eventually, you could maybe put it on a tee and do it with like a 7-iron, but the practice swings without the ball work just as well. Feet together, club in front, and what you're going to do is swing your arms and the club back, and as your arms and club are swinging back, you're going to go ahead and step forward. Okay, let me do that again, slow motion. All right, club in front, swing the arms back, step, and then through. Now, I'm going to do it again. And here's what I want those of you who are tuning in right now. I want you to watch my head movement. Watch my head movement, all right? So here it is. What did my head do? Did it go up or did it go down? Okay, went down, right? When I shift my weight forward and I load into that lead leg, the head naturally drops. It would be very difficult for me to load the lead leg and go up. That would not make any sense at all. Okay, so if you want to create some more club head speed, this might be the next 5 yards we're looking for. Maybe we gave you 15. This might be the last 5. Okay, just do this drill. Club in front, swing it back, step forward, boom, your head will naturally drop. You'll load, and then you can use that vertical and get that club head speed going. That was the drill that we gave him that immediately popped and helped him create that. All right, let's get into a couple more questions, Nick. Looks like we got some great questions. For those of you who are just getting here, all right, VLS Golf, US Golf TV. Nick, we got to give him a thumbs up, Nick. Nick, give him a thumbs up. We're right here. There's Nick, all right? Be sure to tell us where you're from. We love hearing where you're from. And let's get into a couple more questions.
Yeah, so this next one comes from David. He's asking how to stop re-gripping the club on the backswing.
All right, so the question is, how do we stop re-gripping the club in the backswing? All right, this is a good one because we see this a lot. So a couple things. Number one is we could be maybe the grip, we're not gripping it correctly initially. That's possible. So I would look there. We've got some great videos on how to grip it and stuff like that, but really good question. All right. The second thing that I would say is be aware of grip pressure. Okay. Are you increasing the grip pressure? Probably in the backswing. All right. So those are just some concepts. Number one, is the grip correct initially? Number two, am I gripping it tighter, consciously doing that? So the first thing you can do is hit some golf balls and make a conscious effort to keep your grip pressure the same. The best tip, though, the best tip that I can give you is to do this. Take a 7-iron, put a golf ball on a tee, get set up, take your normal stance, and just take the club, okay, and kind of elevate it so it's just hovering off the ground. Okay, on the ground, hover it just a little bit. i.e. Jack Nicklaus did this, right? Hover it. Go ahead and start your swing from there. Start your swing from the club hovering off the ground, and I would bet what you'll probably find is that you'll quit re-gripping it. Because the only way to re-grip it many times is for the club to not be bearing the weight of the club. So if you just hover it and then start your swing, you'll probably see that go away. All right, Nick, what else? Let's get into a couple more questions.
Yeah, this one, we're talking grip, so we'll stick with the grip questions. What about your thoughts on grip sizing?
Okay, so a couple things on grip sizing. So number one, if you struggle with arthritis, things like that, I think a bigger grip is better. A thicker grip is better. If you have a tendency to hook the golf ball, a thicker grip is better. Just like on the flip side, if you tend to slice the golf ball, a thinner grip is a little bit better. But by and large, if we don't have any like arthritis or ailments or things like that, a standard size grip I think is best because it allows you to get the club in your hands correctly. But we do have some golfers who have a little bit of a thicker grip that has worked pretty well from them. But that's typically is somebody who's got arthritis or maybe is really fighting like a hook. The thicker the grip is, everything being equal, lots of times golfers will it makes it more difficult to rotate the club face, and then therefore it makes it more difficult to hook the golf ball. So those are a couple of the ways that I say. I will say this about grips. One of the best ways to keep your game in shape is to make sure you got good solid, make sure your grips are clean, and make sure that they're in good shape. If you've got grips that are really slippery, I mean, I got an extra set down at a vacation home, and they're really slippery, and my game is not as good because they're not tack and they don't have that feel. So make sure you clean your grips, keep them clean, maybe replace them every year, a couple of years based on how much you play. That will help as well too. So look, man, we got people jumping in from all over. We got Oregon, we got Tennessee. If you're just getting here, tell us where you're from. Nick, let's get into a couple more questions that we got.
This one's from Don Warren. He says, left shoulder's a little tight. How can I use my right shoulder to help get the club higher and vertical?
Okay, so what shoulder's a little tight?
Left. I'm assuming lead.
Okay, lead shoulder's a little tight. How do I get that club? Okay, really good. This is a good question. Really good question. All right. So here's what I would say. First of all, though, just go ahead and grip it in your lead hand. Let's say that you're a right-handed golfer. Thank you for this question. Who asked this question?
Don Warren.
Don. Okay, thank you, Don, for this question. So first thing is just go ahead and grip. And everybody can do this at home. You can do it right now if you want. If you're just watching, go ahead and grip the club in your lead hand and just go ahead and lift it up. Okay. Now, some of you will be able to lift your arm all the way up like this, no problem. Some of you, this might be about as far as it goes. All right, that will tell you where your range of motion is. The other thing is that I find that, as we move out of school and we don't raise our hand because we know the answer, right? Or we're not, officiating football and giving the touchdown sign, right? We don't, as human beings, lift our arms up into a position like this. It's always shoulder and below. Keyboards, driving, phones, we never get our arms up above our shoulder. So just literally taking your moving it up this way reminds your body, reminds your subconscious, like, hey, my arm can work this way. All right. So that just is a good learning tool for us to do. All right. Now, here's what I would do to find that position. This question came up earlier. I'm not sure who asked that. Maybe Paul asked that in our coaching program, I think. Okay. Asked us about where should the arms be in the back of the vest. This is the drill we gave Paul. All right. Because he sent in his swing and we took a look at it. He said, hey, how do I know I'm in the right spot? I'm like, well, here's what you do, Paul. Go ahead and take your setup. Okay. Stay in your golf posture and then just lift your hands to about chin height. Everybody see that? And then just turn and rotate. Everybody, let me do it again. Lift, turn, and now we're in a good spot right there. So I hope that answers your question. That's a really good one. Nick can go ahead and throw that in the chat. Nick, make sure you throw it in the chat. You got a coaching program. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's just the website, vlscoaching.com. If you go to that, there's a quick question there. You fill it out, see if you're a good fit for the program. All right, let's get into a couple more questions. We got a great group this evening. I don't know, is Australia still there? Has Australia asked the question yet? That is the question. Come on, Australia. If you haven't asked something, let's get on the board here tonight. All right, Nick, what do we got?
I'll tell you what, we got another question that's to give them a little time.
Okay.
All right, this one comes from Michael also. Does this method apply to irons also for contact and distance?
Okay, really good question. Michael asked this. Thank you, Michael, for asking that question. The vertical line swing, okay, the whole system it really works for every club in the bag. All right, every club in the bag. What I find is that People who really, who swing drivers really low and around, it helps them a lot. But we see a lot of progress in contact. If you struggle with contact, like I just don't hit the ball clean, okay, the vertical line swing is one of the best things that you can do to help you with that. But the concept and the speed drills, the 3 power sources, the rotations, okay, the verticals, and the size to size, they apply for all clubs. Now, of course, like a wedge, like a 9-iron, you're not looking for a ton of club head speed and distance. You're looking for more contact. So yes, in a wedge, there's still rotation. There's still side to side. There's still a little bit of up, but it's not nearly as much as a driver because you're not looking for that club head speed. So as you're looking for more speed, you'll see more of each one of those. So, all right, Nick, let's get into a couple more questions. We got just a couple more minutes to go. This has been a lot of fun. We're talking about club head speed. For those of you who just got here, I'm Todd Kolb, PGA professional. Been doing this for 30 years. I got my main man, Nick, behind the camera. We are VLS Golf, US Golf TV. Tonight, we're talking about how can we get you 20 more yards, get you some more club head speed. We talked about misconceptions. We talked about the power sources, and I've given you a couple different drills. What else we got, Nick?
What about head position at setup?
Okay, what about head position at setup? Really good question. All right, so a couple of things. Let's say, first of all, you're hitting a driver, all right? Let's say you're hitting a driver. Here's what I would do when you're hitting the driver. I would make sure that your head position, okay, is just slightly tilted this way, just a little bit. So everybody see this? Here I am. I'm just going to take my head and just tilt it. So my trail ear is going to go down a little bit, and my lead ear is going to go up just a little bit. Everybody see that? Now, why would I tilt my head just a little bit this way? All right, because ideally with a driver, I want to hit slightly up on the golf ball. And believe it or not, by taking your head and tilting it slightly this way, right ear goes down, left ear goes up. That will set the angles to help you do that. Also on that, your head should definitely be behind the golf ball. So with a driver, the golf ball is going to be up towards kind of the lead toe right there. And your head is definitely set back and behind the golf ball. Kind of maybe more towards the back half of your stance width, excuse me. When you're hitting an iron, okay, like a wedge, for example, now with a wedge, I want your head to be more neutral. So see how my ears, my eyes are more neutral. Driver was tilted. This is more neutral this way. And also my head or my chin is more on the back side of the golf ball. With the driver, it was off the ball, but with an iron, it's more on top of the golf ball. And that is simply because the objective is different. With an iron, you want to hit down on the golf ball, okay? With a driver, you want to hit up on the golf ball. And that's why it would be different. All right, Nick, looks like we got another question come in as well. Let's get another question there. A couple more. Man, we got some good questions coming in here late.
Mike says he hits 8-through pitching wedge great, but he started pushing his 7.65 to the right. What could help with that?
All right, Mike asked that question?
Yeah, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Mike. So basically what Mike is saying is like, hey, my pitching wedge, my 9-iron, my 8's pretty solid. They fly straight. But as the clubs get longer, they start leaking to the right as a right-handed golfer, i.e. they start to fade. All right, so a couple things. Number one is that generally speaking, the longer the club gets, the less loft it has on it, right? The longer the club, it has a little less loft, right? Your 5-iron is longer and has less loft than your 8-iron. And the longer a club is and the less loft it has on it, all things being equal, the more difficult it is to draw the golf ball or turn it over, okay? And to hit it straight. So I would look for two things. Number one, take a look at your backswing. And on the backswing, when you take it back, Mike, okay, make sure that I want you to feel this. See my lead wrist right here? Okay, let me put a glove on here. This is a good drill. So I got a glove right here. I'll just put this glove on. All right. So every golf glove's got a little bit of a logo on it. Let's say it's a Titleist, a FootJoy, a Callaway, whichever you like right there, okay? And as you take the club away, make sure the logo kind of stays looking down at the golf ball. So here's my golf ball. And as I swing it away, the logo stays looking at the golf ball. Okay, versus the logo or the knuckles rotating up towards the sky. Everybody see that? Now notice what that does to the club face. When the lead wrist rotates this way, the club face rotates open and starts to work around my body. When the logo stays looking at the ball, the club head stays out in front and the club face stays square. So this position is square and the club's out in front versus open and behind. That's the first place I would start. The second place would be in the finish. As you come through, just make sure that you're letting the toe of the club release a little bit. Make sure you're letting it rotate. Everybody see it? So it rotates over a little bit. So I would just do little practice swings. I just kind of go waist high to waist high. Boom, release. Watch the toe of the club right here. Boom, release. See? Versus open. So I release it. Release it there. Got a couple of those feels. Boom, then go ahead and step in and hit. All right, Nick, let's get in one more question. We got time for one more, and then we got to wrap her up, and then let's get to that question. Then I want you to throw that link in there so you can sign up for our text messages. So you know when we go live, okay, that's all we send you. We don't send you a bunch of other stuff. We just, hey, we're going live. We got content. You like what we're doing. You want to know and get a notification. Boom, wow, they went live. Like tonight, we just went live, man. Nick and I are like, hey, we're here. We got time. We just finished the coaching program. We talked about distance. Let's jump on and give some freebies to our friends on YouTube. So that's how we did it. All right, here we go. What else we got, Nick?
Yeah, this one came from Willard. Does the snap action of your wrist come into play in this swing plane?
Okay, so the question is on the wrist angles. Really what we're talking about is what are the wrists? And we were just learning that. This is a great question. It's a great follow-up. Okay, because the movement of the wrist, my glove hand, my lead hand, the movement of that, let me give you a couple checkpoints. This is a good question. So, right, so watch this, the club face there. See how when my wrist moves, look how that club face, I can rotate way open, I can rotate it closed, I can lift it, I can go back, all types of stuff. The wrist, when that wrist moves, that club head mimics that movement, right? So, here's 2 checkpoints for you that will get you really, really close to where you need to be, if not exactly where you need to be. Number 1 is the takeaway. We just talked about that. When you grip it, okay, and when you take it away, make sure that the logo right here stays looking at the golf ball. That logo stays looking at the golf ball. That will get the club face square. It'll get the club out in front and get you where you need to be. At the top of your backswing, I want the logo on that glove to feel like it's probably pointed more towards the sky versus toward our book over there. See the bad lie? Okay. This is not necessarily good. I mean, it's not terrible. There are some golfers who play like that. Boom, more this way. Boom, this way. Okay. So bad, not bad. I wouldn't say that. It's not bad. It's just, I think for most amateur golfers, you're better to have the club pointed, or excuse me, the glove pointed more this way as well. Okay, that will help you get that club in a good spot. So tonight we talked about distance, a lot of ways you can do that. All right, VLSgolf.com, US Golf TV. We're glad you're here. The Bad Lie, you can get it on Amazon. Here it is right there. You saw the picture of it. You can get this on Amazon. This teaches you everything you need to know about the vertical line swing. Nick put it in there, the chat, how you get our text messages, our coaching program at VLScoaching.com, all those types of things. We're here to help you play better golf. And remember that you don't have to swing like a tour pro in order to play great golf.